diddle it, do diddle it.
And then what's the other one?
Do them changes.
Yeah.
Come on.
We'll start right now. We're here in the studio, and I'm sitting with...
My name is Stanley Clarke. I play bass.
My name is Patrice Rushen, and I play the piano.
My name is Ndugu Chancler, and I play the drums.
And we appreciate talking to you guys and being here while you have this wonderful recording going down. Tell us a little bit what you're doing and just the elements of making up this trio in your mind. How does this all work to each one of you? Go for it.
And now back to you, Bob.
And you notice we're looking at you.
Well, this is the way we used to make records. We used to make records where musicians got together in the studio, interacted, played together, And there were very few overdubs. I can remember some of my first sessions, there weren't any tracks to overdub on. This record, as a matter of fact, is direct to 2-track, which means there's no mixing involved. What you hear when it goes down is what you get, which is why we all started to play music in the first place, to just express ourselves and get it over with. When you do it, it's done.
I mean, a real obvious thing is that, you know, when you put musicians that are relatively, you know, in sort of in the same bandwidth, you know, technically, harmonically, you know, et cetera, you know, all these musicians have specific and very distinctive ways of playing. I mean, I think that's the beauty of, you know, jazz musicians. We have all this stuff in our head. You know, sometimes it's good and sometimes it's to our detriment, depending on where we are. But we have all this stuff to grab from. So it's kind of like a candy store. You know, you play a tune like Oleo or even better than that, a blues. I mean, there's a billion ways we can play it. We are going to finish the tune. I mean, we might even play it twice. I mean, might even play it twice within the song. I mean, you know, who knows? You know, but there's a lot of stuff to grab.
I think you have a lot more tracks to work with. What are we up to, like 48? Some people are putting 2 machines together and giving themselves, especially with electronics, with computers and sequencers now, giving themselves unlimited tracks to be able to get one performance and to try to get the best performance, sometimes even piecemealing it together. And I think there's some advantages to that for certain kinds of music, and certainly for certain kinds of, I'll use the word loosely, artists, because I think that, and the reason I use the word loosely is because in some ways I think that the qualifications, oh wait, I'm gonna explain myself. The qualifications of what artists used to mean in terms of being able to be important enough in their development that a recording company would want to document their development.
Let's play it together.
Okay. Go slow.
Yeah.
The bridge or the top?
From the top.
One.
You go to the thing.
We'll get that later.
Okay.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
What about the bridge? Great. So we do that, and then what do we do? Then we go. How about a drum solo, or what kind? What do you want to do? Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Ready to roll. I think that when you're talking about art and you're talking about a person's ability to be able to tap into something within themselves that's creative, I don't care how they find it, because the point of them being able to find it is what makes them human. And I think that when we lose the ability to find on whatever level, and I'm not saying everybody's going to be has to be a great musician, but if my next door neighbor, because they can go and buy a machine, they can press a button and get just this much of what it feels like to be involved in music making, I'm thinking that it's going to impact me as an artist in terms of their appreciation of whatever kind of music I play, because then suddenly they're in on it.
There's a simple thing that goes along with great artists and musicians, and that's integrity. Those that don't have a lot of artistic integrity settle. So those that settle don't utilize the technology or their own talent to their fullest ability. But at the same time that's going on, you have those other ones that are pushing it to the limits. The issue right now is the fact that you have the traditionalists that came up in a system where none of this technology was available, so you had to search, find, and develop your talent. And today you have those that don't have to search, they can push a button, and all the information is there in front of you. Now the integrity says that you should get all of this information, gather it all up, formulate it, and hone in on your craft. Now, we're in a Pop-Tart generation, so a lot of people have no desire to go through step 2 and step 3. They just want instant gratification. So at that point, you have created a void or a hole in the wholeness of your talent. But there are still great musicians that spend the time woodshedding on their craft, but are also utilizing the technology.
One of the beautiful things about technology, if you take commerce out of it, selling records and all that, let's just say we were all out here making the same $5 a week that everybody else makes, right? But we have these computers and we have all this stuff. I mean, the one thing that technology has done is that it's empowered a lot of people to be able to, you know, exercise their creativity. And I think that that's good. I actually think when you look at it on with a bigger view, not just making a buck, it's better for people and it's better for society. I remember one time I was in an airport in Europe, and I was funny. I walked into this airport, and it was kind of a surrealistic kind of thing because it was just me and Dizzy Gillespie were there, a baggage claim, and it's one of them Nordic countries way up there. And I go over to Dizzy, and Dizzy goes, "Hi, Stanley," you know, like that. And I say, "Hey, man, how you doing?" And we were just talking about cycles in music, you know, and he was talking about, you know, sometimes you have to wait. He was talking about bebop. I said, "Yeah, man, it must have been amazing, man. Like, you guys created bebop like that, you know." And he says, "Well, before," he was talking about before that, like, guys had to wait for these guys, and then some other guys, we had to wait for train, and you know, and even in other fields of music, rock and roll, it's like we have to kind of wait this one out, man, because it's pretty pumped up. I don't think MTV's going to all of a sudden come on and have commercials. Learn your instrument.
Okay, anytime you guys want to go.
Go ahead. remember one time I was in an airport in Europe, and I was funny. I walked into this airport, and it was kind of a surrealistic kind of thing because it was just me and Dizzy Gillespie were there, a baggage claim, and it's one of them Nordic countries way up there. And I go over to Dizzy, and Dizzy goes, "Hi, Stanley," you know, like that. And I say, "Hey, man, how you doing?" And we were just talking about cycles in music, you know, and he was talking about, you know, sometimes you have to wait. He was talking about bebop. I said, "Yeah, man, it must have been amazing, man, like you guys created bebop like that, you know." And he says, "Well, he was talking about before that, like guys had to wait for these guys, and then some other guys, you had to wait for Train, and you know, and even in other fields of music, rock and roll, it's like we have to kind of wait this one out, man, because it's pretty pumped up. I don't think MTV's going to all of a sudden come on and have commercials. Learn your instrument."
Okay, anytime you guys want to go.
Go ahead.
something faster. Oh, yeah. I'm getting more.
Charlie. Charlie,